This is Simon Chilembo here. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. My blog is chilembo.com as it appears on the screen here. I hope everybody is still living strong, healthy and strong during the continuing lockdown as a consequence of the coronavirus disease, COVID-19. Those who have taken ill, are ill, or even have experienced the worst, friends and relatives passing on, again, my sympathies, our sympathies. When you are an urbanite like me and love nature at the same time, living in central Oslo gives you the best of both worlds. Nature, as in, bush. And I live on the 7th floor in this apartment block that I stay. And if we go like 400 meters further up the street, we'll reach the King's Palace. And this way is reconstruction of an old school here called Rådhuset Skole, and way beyond, maybe 10 minutes casual walk from here, that's the city center. And I'm going to take you through a short intro of my neighborhood. And some people in South Africa have wondered as to what kind of life I live here, what kind of place Oslo is. From here where I stay, it is concrete jungle. And then when I say we have the best of both worlds, it's in the sense that another 5 minutes walk, there's also the metro station, and like within 30 minutes by metro, we get to the bush, the forest, and the mountains and hills. It's very beautiful. And then up beyond Rådhuset Skole and these buildings here is Aker Brygge, that's the Harbour. And I'm going to just walk around and show you what this place is like here. It's a pure concrete jungle. And then at Aker Brygge, we have the sea, the water. So it's I love it here. I'm in the middle of everything here, and it's very convenient, very practical for one living alone. And everything is here, is set up. I'm near everything here, and I can go for months on end, for example, without spending money on transportation. If my action is centered within this area here, and I just walk 5, 10, 15, at the most 20 minutes here, maybe 30 if I'm going to down to the Oslo Central Station, where the trains and all that. That's the meeting point of central Norway, if you like. Okay, looking down this way here, beyond that building there is Aker Brygge Tjuvholmen. We're going to take a walk and see what the place is like there. And all the way up at the very top is a place called Nesoddbåtene, where I taught karate for 23, 25 years. Okay. We are out on my street, and we have a nice square here. The pole distracts a bit, but the brown building there is is historical. It's Christiania Technical School from 1889, and at the corner here, Vika Decorum is an interior design shop that's owned by friends of mine, Polish Norwegian. I've known them for as long as I've been, almost for as long as I've been in Norway. And next to Vika Decorum is a brown building and lighter one. It's you see there's a name sand there. The next building, that's where I had my last clinic and a Vital. Okay, we're facing the north, and up and beyond, if we walk another 20 minutes or so, we'll reach the famous Frognerparken. By tram it's like 10 minutes. It's very fast. This way here, another 5 minutes walk, we get to Aker Brygge, Tjuvholmen. My last clinic in Vital Helse og Velvære, Health and Wellness, was at this building here, all the way down. And this is where I finally succumbed after 5 years of fighting hard to recover from the blow of the 2008 financial crisis. In my first book, When the Mighty Fall, the story about the final fall and my business and all that, the interesting people I met and what transpired from there takes place here. And this place holds many wonderful memories. I'm grateful that I had the privilege to work from here. People talk about saving money. Money is savable when you make money. When you have a cash cow, when you have a cash flow. So if you save money when you don't have a cash cow, when you don't have a cash flow, you might as well starve. You might as well stop living. So at this place here, after investing a lot of money, to tune up the place, and the clientele base just fell by like 75% almost overnight. There was no money in the economy. Then I lost more money than I made. From week to week, from month to month. So eventually, even the buffer monies that you save, separately for hard times, it just ends. And this is then how people get concurs or bankrupt, insolvent. But this is here. This place holds wonderful memories. The place has been renovated. Sand is a law firm that I think they own or rent. I don't know. But in any case, Sand, the law firm, Sand's law firm, has disposition of this building here. This is a very self-sufficient neighborhood. From the lawyers here in Sands here, at the corner we have a shoe repair shop that's run by two friends of mine from Spain, and here we have a flower shop run by people from Turkey, and then next door is Micah Taylor's, a good friend of mine from the Philippines. And I hate shopping, especially clothes, trousers, because everything has to be altered, all the time. Every time I buy a new pair of trousers, the waist and the bumps might be good, but always the legs. I never find a correct size. And this is when Micah does her magic. I've used almost hi hello. Oh, jeg lager show her, vet du. Jeg lager show om mitt Neighbourhood. Ja, hei. We've got lots of cool street art in my neighborhood too. There's a colorful hustler there. That's the kind of outfit, you know, I enjoy seeing, but I wouldn't wear. This guy is driving against traffic. He'll get a heavy fine. It's a one-way street. And this is a rebuilding of, you know, of a fantastic Vika shopping center here. And the text reads, "Breathe in, breathe out. Life is but a further dream. Repeat 6 million times." There is more street artwork here. Very nice. Man, check out those cheeks. Woo-hoo. Wow. There. Lovely. You can't blame that dude there. Hot chick. Love it. There's some really cool guys there too. Again, like to watch them. I wouldn't dress like that myself. The horse, yes, but I wouldn't ride that. Beautiful building is going to be here. Vika shopping center. Lovely. And then I've always been fascinated by cranes. There's something about cranes, you know, that gives me hope. For some reason, you know, I don't know. And then on the other side, we're seeing the new. On the other side, we're seeing the new Rådhuset school. It's very nice, very modern. It's going to be, and this is where also my karate club had a training facility for many years. Some time back. I love this place very much. And as we go this way into Vika Terrace, to the right, we are going to see the Oslo Konserthus. Hey! The sign at Joe and the Jews talks to me, talks to us. That's only one thing we can be here during this time is be strong. I whispered to my coffee, but you know, the coffee could as well also, you know, reflect the message. You know, say, Simon, be strong. Everybody, be strong. Live hard and live strong, live tough always. And then we are in the Vika Terrace, the square here, and the shopping center. Also, there's cafes and restaurant and very nice place. And there is the concert house, Oslo Konserthus, and we have the coffee shop, Brygge. It's a national chain, very big. Make great coffee here. At the beginning of the shopping center there, you know, there's Harbour. It's a high-end clothing brand, very, very nice. And there we go. And the elegance of all this, you know, is that it's just about 5 minutes, you know, from where I stay. I really love this place here. And a little further up, where you see car headlights coming up, is the National Theatre metro station. So it's everything is just exactly where I needed to be. Great place to stay. We do have some beautiful green spaces in Oslo. For example, this one here by the Oslo City Hall. When it's in full bloom in another month or so, by the time it's the 17th of May, the National Day, it's magical out here. and the beauty, the way they compose the flowers and all, it's beautiful. And the fountain, will be on and all that. This will last till about August, and that's the City Hall out there. And I'll show you the front after a while. And under normal circumstances, this is a very busy place, a hive of activity. And as you see up there, also all around here, when the hedge is in full bloom, it's all green and all, and the flowers and all, it's just beautiful. The tulipans, they're just starting off. In another month, it's just wonderful. And there is the boats there, and further ahead we have I think it's color magic, a big cruise line out there. And as we go around, we see Aker Brygge, and that is the Nobel Peace Center. They have an exhibition of some sort called the Period. I haven't been to check what it's about, but my fantasyful mind, when I see period, I see a lot of things. And behind the Nobel Peace Center is the new National Museum. It's a bit obscure. You can't see it clearly from here. It's a very ugly building to be, the National Museum of Art. But who am I to judge? And but again, this is just a 5-10 minutes walk from my place. This is the frontal view of the Oslo City Hall. Oh, there's a gang of youngsters there. Hi guys. Wearing their masks as they cycle there. Hi guys. Hi. Hi. These are city bikes, they're for rent. They are stationed in strategic points, all around the city. You pay, I don't know, 5 kronas or 10 kronas something for hour, and you can cycle all over. It's part of the environmental move to encourage people to use less cars, walk, cycle, get some exercise. And this square in front of the City Hall and Oslo Harbour there is really, a fantastic hive of activity place. In the summer, starting about now, spring, I don't know what's coming to that is, there'll be festivals, of all sorts, cultural and, be it music and be it sporting activities and be it trade fairs, and all that. It's a beautiful. Again, just a 5-10 minutes walk from my place. Just love it here. Mambe Watu, I have decided that you shall sweep the yard every morning as from today. Start first by washing and polishing the stoop, veranda floor. See to it that the stoop shines like a mirror. Do we understand each other? No, we don't understand each other, Malekwa. We cannot. What you are asking of me is not part of the deal. I pay you rent for staying in a room at your house. I'm neither your worker nor your slave. I replied. Yeah, this is the problem with people like you. Just because you are beautiful, you think you can come and do as you wish at people's homes. Ah, you colors are a problem full of shit, people. You do as I say or go away. Firstly, Malekwa, I am not a colored. Secondly, if my beauty is a thorn in your flesh, it is not my problem. Thirdly, if you look at my knees, you'll notice that I never go down on them to scrub stoops and floors. And fourthly, I shall leave you in peace at the end of the month. This is my house, woman. I say you leave now. Get the hell out of my sight, you bitch that went away to dump your husband and children in strange lands in Africa. You are a witch. Nobody wants you here in Tjuvholmen. Leave. I don't see what all this has to do with my husband and children. But if you give me my money back for the 3 weeks remaining this month, I shall leave before the day is over. Forget it. You have made a lot of money in all the months you have turned my house into a shebeen. Go away. This is my house. All the money made here is all mine now. Go, 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 before I call the police. Alcoholic that you are, if you think you are going to be rich from the business that I have introduced for you all sleepy people here, you are fooling yourself. But good luck to you. I'll see you when you are a millionaire in your next life. I was happy to leave, actually. My landlady had begun to be a major liability for my business, when for the first time in her life she began counting up to 1,000 South African rand a month in her hands. She took to alcohol consumption in a big way. In the 1970s, 1,000 rands was a hell lot of money, particularly for the downtrodden black people of South Africa. Men bought good second-hand cars for that kind of money. It was not uncommon for industrial workers' monthly take-home pay to average half that amount. In Malekwa's world, enjoyment of money was in the booze. Sure. When remembered, she paid school fees for her children, 4 of them, bought some clothes for the family, a new radiogram, and a new smokeless coal stove. Food was bought only when hungry, which was almost always for the children. The food had to be eaten all through the plates and the pots. Never any leftovers. She had taught her children to even chew the paper wrappers of fish and chips, or the occasional roast chicken, if not Viennese and Russian sausages. The former sausages are also called Viennas in South Africa. In the days before big monies became rolling in with my arrival, boiled sheep's head, feet, and tripe were the order of the day. Chicken heads, legs, and giblets were also part of the diet. In those days, families looked forward to Sundays to a large extent for the good food prepared by the senior women of their homes. The Sunday mood, from lunchtime and well into the early evening, used to be ever so festive for the more normal functional families. In Malekwa's house, there were never even those special sumptuous Sunday meals. It was whilst she was drunk that I had a sense of the depth of Malekwa's love for her husband. After about the first 6 months of my would-be 18-month stay with her, she ever so lamented Gabi's Lekwa's constant absence from home. He was a road construction worker, always on the move around the country. The civil engineering company that Gabi worked for, Marcelo P. Construction Pty Limited, used to have jobs throughout Southern Africa. One of their biggest jobs in recent years was in the then newly independent Mozambique. This meant that the family father could be away from home for months on end. At the time of my unceremonious departure from his house, he had not been home for more than 3 months. That Gabi was an absentee family father was not especially unique. At least every second family in their neighborhood was headed by women whose husbands were temporary migrant laborers away in the Gauteng industrial hub. If not working for mobile entities like construction and haulage firms, others were drawn to the mines of the Free State Goldfields Triangle further south. Some men would be away all weeks, Monday to Friday. They would come home for the weekend bearing their brown paper weekly pay envelopes. Others would come home only once a month to spend the last weekend of the month with their families. Their monthly pay would be used to settle outstanding debts to, for example, neighbors and friends. There would also be various accounts to pay in clothing and furniture shops. The shops could have been anything from big national consumer brands such as Pep stores and Ellerin's Furnitures. Blessed were those men whose wives were smart housekeepers. These would buy family groceries for the following month. They also ensured that there would still be a little bit of cash left for incidental expenses and emergencies during their periods of absence. And then there were those men who would be gone for many weeks to months. They could be away for as long as a whole year, if not longer. A few others would disappear altogether, their fates never to be known. However, about all those who maintained ties with their families would send money back to their wives and children on a regular basis. When they finally came home to stay, some of these long-term absentee husbands and dads, it would be upon the expiration of their work contracts. There would also be those who may have simply been fired from their jobs for various reasons. Others would have been forced to cease work due to industrial injuries or a variety of incapacitating illnesses. Pneumono-ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis is a lung disease that devastated many a mining worker, for example. This disease is caused by long-term breathing exposure to silica dust, as found in volcanic ash and similar conditions experienced in. The dust arises from the attendant continuous explosive and drilling works effected in the mineral-rich rocks to obtain deposits of coal, gold, diamonds, platinum, and others. This here is one of the boats, one of the ferries to Nesoddbåtene. For like 20, 23, 25 years. Certainly the first 20 years I shuttled at least twice a week. In the first 10 years, 12, was 3 times a week during the normal working season, from August to December and January to June, every year going to teach karate out there. At Nesoddbåtene, during all those years, I met some of the most fantastic people I've met anywhere in the world. In fact, many of them have contributed to my madness in Norway, and that for that I remain very grateful. Things have changed now, but it's just what it is. I still live happily ever after, with or without good vibes from Nesoddbåtene these days. But that place formed much of me. I'm very grateful for that. So bro, oh yes, thank you. Thank you. That's the boat out there, and very happy memories. And also, you know, under normal circumstances, you know, there will be lots of people here. We're at Brygge now, and starting here, the furthest east end of Brygge. It's a very lovely place. Lots of high-end shopping to do here. The restaurant live is fantastic, and many of the restaurants here I used to patronize during my heydays. I miss that very much. But life changes and we move on. This restaurant called Lactran, on an old boat, specializes, with services during starting about now. So it's still a bit cold in early spring, but definitely in the summer. It's a beautiful place. My brother, His Excellency Bobby Moore, and others who were in Oslo here on a student exchange program, so I don't know, more than 10 years ago, will remember the farewell pizza feast we had here, at the time. A great time indeed. Have wonderful memories here. And on this side here, we see, restaurants are closed, there's Olivia, there's Albert, and there's Louise. That's classics, Albert and Louise have always been here, and go all the way. I feel for the for the hospitality industry, as a result, of this lockdown here, because the hospitality industry, especially hotel, restaurant, is very close to my heart for two major reasons. My father worked all his life, all his 65 years, in the hotel and restaurant industry, especially restaurant, and starting in Welkom, my hometown in South Africa. It is also said that my first birthday, 8th June 1961, was celebrated at what was then, throughout the 1960s, early 1970s, top hotel in the Free State Triangle in Welkom. Golden Orange Hotel was celebrated there. And what's special is that that hotel, was whites only, but my first birthday, celebrated there. And the second reason, is that actually my first paid job was as a waiter at an Italian restaurant in Welkom. The restaurant is still there. It's called the Caponero. And that was, I had just turned age 13 in 1973, June 8, 1973. So it's very close to me. But then the third reason is that I grew up in a shebeen. My mother ran a shebeen selling alcohol at home in Welkom. And a thought struck me, that with the lockdown in South Africa, it was that time, or my mother's beans would have suffered a lot. And so I feel this. And there's a fourth reason too, is that I had just completed a training course in as a security officer to work as a bouncer in restaurants and nightclubs and all. When the lockdown started, I was looking forward to starting a new job, and start to earn money, and so I can start paying my debts, and also when I get begin to make a little surplus, that doing things that I love, hobbies, spending money. And one of my hobbies, when I have money, I make money. I love to invest in shares, in the stock exchange, and or almost like not quite day trading, but I like to buy play, with investment funds, and all the various portfolio. I love that. I made a lot of money in my heydays, So it's a very special experience, to see this. It's very, very heavy on my heart, and can only hope, that things will be all right soon, and rock and roll starts again. We are now in the Brygge Square. Again, there's no life here, and at the corner there we have another classic, that's always been here, Sorgen Free. It's a very good Danish kitchen, excellent food. Love it very much. Oh, sorry. Hi. Yeah, and then okay. So there's no, under normal circumstances, so it's a hive of activity here. Okay. Yes, I guess. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes, there you are, and somebody there with masks and everything, and there's a canal out there. 20 years ago, it was just a small industrial site, and this is new. And what that means is that well, I'll come to that. And it's a very beautiful place here. Oslo has grown phenomenally, in the last 15 to 20 years or so. And what that means also is that the wealth of the city and its creation, potential wealth creation potential, has now spread itself out. 25 years ago, Aker Brygge, was, a powerhouse, financial economic powerhouse in Zambia. We used to use the expression that, drama zikugwa, meaning that, money falls here, like the rain, and but the Aker Brygge is still the place to be, and I would imagine, there falls, hundreds of millions of kronas a day here, it's a fantastic commercial and financial district. And what's also very interesting is that 20 years ago I was the only foreigner, as far as I know, of African origin who ran an own business here. So in the beginning it caused a lot of skepticism and everything, but I did my work and got the support of very many kind people here. I have wonderful memories here. We continue. This is another section of Aker Brygge that's even much closer to my heart, because in this square here, the time I worked here, you have the ground floor here and the second floor. That's where I had my first professional practice as a medical massage therapist. It was a great place, and again, it's I get emotional, when I think about where I come from, in here. This is the place where I first made my 1 million kronas in a year, and subsequently more in subsequent years, when I was the height, of my success in Oslo. So, but you know, it's a closed chapter now, you know. But I can't help, you know, carrying these memories. And you know, when I say, you know, I've been there, you know, done that, you know, these are things that I talk about, you know, and it was a very great part of my life's journey that again I'm very grateful for having had the privilege to experience. We are now on the Tjuvholmen side, and again, you know, on the ground floor here, restaurants and, you know, all closed. There's no business. Corona lockdown, and across the canal also now we have a fitness training center here open for the public, and a few enthusiasts have already started to do pull-ups, and you know, and all very fit guys, and you know, my shoulders are getting stronger now. These are things I'm going to do. And again, you know, the beauty of this place here is that it's only 5 minutes away, you know, from my house. Yeah, I just love this place here. We have Tjuvholmen from another angle, and on this side here, oh yeah, and we might say that every day is Christmas at Tjuvholmen. As you can see over there, there's a Christmas tree. Hasn't been switched off yet. I'm not complaining. And then we have youths here doing their skateboard games. It's beautiful, and still early in the season, a bit chilly, you know, but the weather permits, so they might as well start the rock and roll. And of course, because of the lockdown again, you know, there isn't so many of them yet. And it's this complex is fairly new, you know, it's still being developed. So I would expect it, you know, that I would expect that come summertime it will have been done, and you can see there's sitting places there, and there'll be lots of activities out here. It's especially sore to see Indian kitchen restaurant, New Delhi restaurant, closed because this is the restaurant that serves the best, the very best, you know, Indian food in the country, if not the entire Scandinavia. I'm very biased, I'll admit, because this restaurant here is run by a friend, brother, karate student, Baljit Singh. He was one of my very, very first karate students in Oslo. I've known him since he was, when he first came, very shy, you know, and but keen to train. He was 12, 13 years old or thereabout. They had just started, you know, the restaurant business, you know, very small. Again, in this district here, just across the road in Vika, and I get very happy every time I see this. You know, Baljit is a big man now, you know, and I think they've got 3 restaurants in town, and doing very well. Very proud of that. And Baljit is a family father, you know, and all, and I get very emotional and also inspired all the time, you know, when I see things like this. And further down, this street here, if you want to call it, is a flower shop. I don't know if I haven't yet had a chance to visit and see who runs the place there, but this guy, the guy who started the flower shop there, started about the same time that I opened my former clinic. in Enevital, and when I had to close a shop, I passed through here because I used to stay here at the time, and we became friends with this guy. He says, "Man, we took a chance. We started business on our own. At the worst possible time, but we didn't know. Because we started in the spring of 2008, and looking forward to the big bang, of the autumn, of the same year." But the big bang, was of another type, the finance crisis. So it was a really big blow. But I'm still here and happy, and getting more inspiration from friends. And I'm happy, and that's also why I'm ever so confident and sure that when this thing is over, the coronavirus lockdowns and all that, we're going to rise again. For me, as long as I remain alive, strong and healthy, I see this as another one of those cycles of life. It's going to be all right. As long as I live, I've got hope, I've got faith. Everything is going to be all right. We all have our different capabilities, different interests, and so whatever you do, it's going to work out. So don't lose hope. Stay strong. It works out in the end. This is another favorite square of mine in Oslo, in Tjuvholmen. At the furthest end, that's where we have a Baljit's New Delhi restaurant, and it's good to see that after all these years, they've changed the name now, but it's still a Korean kitchen. You can see the concept is there. And on this, I used to live on this block here, at the very top there. I was one of the first people to live here in those days. At that time, all this on the other side, there's another canal there, was still a construction site. So I've seen this place grow. It's turned out very beautiful indeed. And there's a bank there, Handels Bank and the Emirates, and there's TA11 Invest. So you see, this is an economic powerhouse. Also, and this is why I say, that the wealth of Oslo and wealth creation capacity of Oslo has been distributed across, but this still remains the place to be for those who aspire big with business and all that. I don't know if I'll ever come back here, but that's history. It's done. Been there, done that. If I come back, well and good. If I don't, I won't die. But it's all these experiences have contributed to the powerhouse that I am. As a man, as an individual. So I love this. I love this very much indeed. So.
Hello.
Hei. Hei. Er det greit?
Hva holder du på med?
Jeg...
Hva tar bilder?
Hvis bare litt, jeg blir tom for batteri nå.
Okay.
So in my first book, When the Mighty Fall, the story of the young lady falling in love with an older man unfolds here at the Thief. They have two beautiful restaurants here. I think, is it on the fourth floor? Is it on the fourth floor where you have the restaurant? Second floor, and also on the rooftop. Yeah. And like I say, when all this was going on, the construction, I was living out here. And when the story came out in 2015, I was still in South Africa, but I had this idea, of what the thief would look like. So I knew I had a vision of the thief in my head long before it was open, at least while I was still in South Africa. So this is very special for me also. I get very emotional when I get here. Okay, this will be it for now. It's been a long trip around my neighborhood, and maybe it's just as well because the battery is just up. Thank you very much for following, and I hope you enjoyed the show today. I'll see you soon. Be well, live strong always. Remember, wash your hands and maintain social distancing. My books are available all over the world via Amazon.com. I write novels and essays about migration and what it does to us all. I also write poetry inspired by all aspects of my life, including love, of course. Hi, this is Simon Chilambo here. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel.